Good morning. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill from the KMET Weather Center. For the Beaumont and Banning area, those daytime hours will give us mostly sunny skies, highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s. The daytime hours in the IE area, sunshine and abundance, highs middle 70s. Afternoon in the Coachella Valley, sunshine, high upper 70s to lower 80s. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you. We know there's a lot of things going on. And I know, Jess, you're looking at a story right now. You're going, wait, what? And I'll say this, with Ukraine, with Russia, there's always something kind of to talk about. It's an interesting story. You kind of brought it to my attention. The headline says Ukraine alleges Russian dirty bomb deception at nuke plant. Anyone that knows a dirty bomb knows there's a lot of things that kind of come with, a bomb, and B, dirty. It's always radioactive. I'm not going to lie, there's a good show that I highly recommend. It's called Flashpoint. Watch it with my mom, and she loves that show. If you ever get a chance to watch it, there's an episode. It's kind of a, you got to watch it from the beginning to the end, but on the very last one, before they end it all, they do it with a dirty bomb. And I'm like, what's a dirty bomb? A dirty bomb is nuclear. Or radioactive, rather. That means, you get kind of like, if it explodes, then everybody gets the radiation, right? But they could do it with, something not that big. And it was kind of like a team doing it, a bunch of kids who kind of followed this guy, and he was kind of like a leader, and he just didn't want anything good for, people. So it was really one of those situations. But the leads in it kind of got hurt in a way, and then you're like, what's going to happen? So, great show, by the way. I think they should have more seasons. I don't know why they stopped. I think they filmed it in Canada. Anyway, Jess, I see the story here, and it's interesting. It's kind of a thing we keep saying about nuclear. Why? And interesting, where does it take place?
Where does what take place? The whole Ukraine thing? Yeah. So, Russia is accusing Ukraine of assembling a dirty bomb or planning a dirty bomb attack. So I'm just thinking, oh, great, they're going to do it and blame it on somebody else.
Interesting. Yeah, the way I read this one, it's saying Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu made an unsubstantial allegation that, as you said, Ukraine was preparing to launch a so-called dirty bomb. Shoigu made the charge in calls to his British, French, Turkish, and U.S. counterparts over the weekend. Britain, France, and the U.S. rejected it out of hand as transparently false. By the way, that's the line in the sand. So when you see that kind of like thing where Britain, France, and the U.S. kind of team up against this claim, that means that's a war either A, about to come, or B, somebody's trying to cover their, booty, is what we'll say. Ukraine, of course, dismissed the claim as an attempt to distract attention from the Kremlin's, which you haven't heard the Kremlin a long, you know what I mean? Like, you hear in every single, old movie, the Kremlin, right? Nothing good comes from the Kremlin, that's what you know. Own alleged plans to detonate a dirty bomb which uses explosives to scatter radioactive waste in an effort to sow terror. Now, I will say, in this whole thing back and forth, Ukraine really, especially at the beginning, and I think, if you pay attention to the headlines, they really were trying to have talks, but Russia reneged every single time. What I mean by that, it was always let's have talks about, let's figure it out. We're neighbors. Let's figure it out. And every single time they had a talk, they bombed Ukraine, right, with missile or, you know what I mean, and then doing all kinds of things. Even some of the soldiers were like, "Why are we doing this?" So I don't know. I don't know what that all means, but I will say this. You got to be careful around a power plant. And again, I've been saying this, but I don't think people get it. But you never A, bomb a power plant, B, stay in a power plant, and C, like vacation in what's that one? Oh, Chernobyl. Chernobyl's kind of itched in our brain that you don't stay there. Like every single movie that has like a war-torn area where there's like zombie, or what movie did I see recently? Spectral. And they're all taking place in that way, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where you have like a movie or a game where there's zombies, right? Because they get radioactive something, and then something, and then something, and then you're running from the something. But it always starts with, you know, radioactive device, which is really what they're saying, right? So I don't know what that means. What do you think it means, Jess?
What this news is for me, like every time I hear what was it, news about Russia, I always envision them as, do you remember the movie Mars Attacks?
Yes. Yes.
And
I can
how,
never
like,
I can never stop thinking about the eyes and the big head. But I think I remember the woman I didn't see coming, right? But anyway, go ahead.
No, there's a point in the movie where they like make a translator and they're like, "No, we're here to help you. Don't run," and they're just shooting everybody. That's what I envision doing right now. It's like, no, we're not trying to take you over.
That makes sense, actually. That is what the movie's about. It kind of got me like no, we're here to help you, and then they disintegrate everybody, right? They're like, what, right? So, yeah, I don't believe it for a second. Russia is basically, I think, covering whoever this defense minister is. I think they're covering something. So, and it's interesting. It says here Ukraine's operator of nuclear, right? Whenever you think nuclear power plant, the operator said that Russian forces were performing secret work at the nuclear power plant in, Europe. Activity that could shed light on Russia's claims that Kiev's forces are preparing a provocation involving a radioactive device. So, in essence, in response to that, the Minister of Defense of Russia said, no, that's not us, that's them. And you're like, yeah, I don't believe that for a second. So that's kind of what's going on. I hope it doesn't go anywhere soon. I hope it just kind of stays where it's at as words. But some are thinking there will be a situation in the next coming week or so. So that's kind of what's happening. But when you have big, big countries like the U.S., like Britain, like France, and others going, why do we want nuclear? You go, oh, yeah, that's right. Not responsible. So Russia not being responsible. That's what I can say. So be responsible, okay? And we all know responsible is not a thing anyone does nowadays. So, Jess, what else is going on in the world?
Oh my God. Okay, so like I said before a few days back, I will not refer to Ye. I don't know what his name. I'm gonna call him Kanye West. I will not refer to him as that other two-letter word. It's dumb.
There's a two-letter word now?
Yeah, no, he changed his name. It's just Y-E.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. That's whatever. To each their own. But apparently Adidas terminated their partnership with him earlier this morning.
Oh, with Kanye West.
Yes, Kanye West. Kanye West.
With the poor little one. Her name's North, right? I get the North now. I didn't get it before. I got it. Kanye West, North, West. Oh, I finally got it, Jess. It finally. Ding, 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 ding. I don't know how long that. Did you get that? I didn't get. You know what? Smart, very smart. Could have done Southwest, but.
That's what, after North was born, we're all like, what's going to be next? Southwest?
I forgot. I get that now. I get that now. I didn't. So he's now Ye West. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's like, yo, yay.
No, it's not Ye West. It's just Ye. Like Cher.
But he's got his last name. I mean, you can't get rid of your last name. I mean, that defeats the whole purpose of North, West.
I don't know. That's why I'm saying it's complicated. I don't really care. I'm just going to refer to him as Kanye West. But no, yeah, apparently Adidas terminated the partnership earlier today for because of anti-Semitic remarks, and I don't know. Every time I see him talk, he just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
I'm telling you, she left him, and he got like, oh god, what am I gonna do? He should just go hot. You know what I mean? Like recover from that. You know, when she went, and I guarantee, I think she's with a guy, right? Isn't she with the guy? She left him, and he just went next level, right? He was already going next level in 2020. I remember when he was running for president. I said that's not gonna last, right? Kim left him in a way that he's just like, I thought I had what I had, and I was like, well, you kind of paraded her. What did you think? You know, he was, you know what I mean? I mean, they would dress up, then he, you know, I wonder if he has regret. No. You know, everybody kind of rallies around that guy eventually. So I don't know. I think it might be. But when I saw a post by a friend and she said, I support my Jewish friends. I go, what's going on in Israel? And then I saw that. I go, anti-Semitic. What kind of comment did he make, Jess?
Oh yeah. Apparently he made before he was banned from Twitter. He said something about DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Oh, no, he
Death.
did not do that. Wait, what? Why?
Yeah, not Con 3, DEFCON 3.
Why would he do
I
that?
I have no idea. I'm not Kanye West. I have no idea what this dude's thinking about. I Yeah, that's why I said he was banned from Twitter and a bunch of other platforms because he's crazy. He just goes on and on against Jewish people. Apparently, following his comments, a banner was hung by a white supremacist group above the 405 in LA reading, Kanye is right about the Jews. Yeah, if the white supremacist group is supporting you, I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Good point. Good point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of with you there. I mean, sometimes comments can be taken out of context, but I think you're right. If they're like, dude, we totally. I don't know. I think if anything, you know, people had questions when he wore the red hat. You know what I mean? And then they thought, he's like, dude, I support that guy. So I wonder, because there's been questions about that before. Is there a white thing going on with like the KKK? Like, how come there's always, you know what I mean? And they hate anything and everything. Although when you think about it, like Israel tend to be more white than like other, but I don't really know. I don't know if it's a color thing, a race thing, or again, I don't know what leads. Like, what? I guess we should stay away from that, huh? It's like I don't. I mean, I don't think. How do I say it? There's a lot of people. How do I say? They say
I don't know.
things. I used to be a fan, not gonna lie. Eventually, of him, I didn't understand him when he lost it on the like morning show. Remember that? Like when he lost it, people were like, at first I was very judgmental. And then people were like, "We don't understand. He lost his mom," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. He's having a breakdown. I get that. I get that." So I think he's having a breakdown, Jess. In that way, I'm for him. You know what I mean? I've never been that whole parade your lady or parade your wife around for money. I've never been that. But in a way, I think maybe she left him at the right time. In a way, I don't really know. But I would say, yo, get back in, like, you know, because I think people are forgiving of him. He's got good stuff out there, you know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, like, I can't fathom if my mom passed away, but the way he's acting is not. She'd probably be like, "Oh my God, son, what are you doing?"
There you go. There you go. I think if anything, he needs to reflect on that. What would she say right now? Like, I think I raised you better than that. Number one. Number two, just because you had really good stuff, like along the way, doesn't mean you should, you know. Here's news: Kim Kardashian and her sisters. Oh yeah, they're distancing themselves from this. Yep, there it is. Kim Kardashian and her sisters condemn anti-Semitism after Kanye West's tirades. Here's how they call that. Yeah.
I'm all for freedom of speech, but when the moment your speech starts to go towards hate and like, I don't like you, I don't like that, then I'm gonna politely step away because that's not who I am.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's exactly what you do. Well, I don't know. He always has a way of rebounding. I don't know how. But all right, right? Doesn't he? Like they go, oh, that's a breakdown. Oh, that, like I think ever since his ma, if he didn't have a good ma and he didn't lose her, honestly, he would have been like probably. I don't know. He always has a weird. I think he's gonna rebound. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think. If anything, I think he's gonna get support. I think people are gonna be like, I get it. And then I think if you see the full like, but yeah, you can't say things like that. That's number one. All right. Well, anyway, we're taking a break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Football season is back, and every Monday night, the Two Coot Lounge at the Yamava Resort and Casino in San Manuel is where you need to be. Come cheer on your favorite team and become a Club Serrano member for your chance to win incredible prizes, enjoy food and drink specials, and be entertained by the 66ers dance team. It's the Monday Night Pigskin Party at the Two Coot Lounge at the brand new Yamava Resort and Casino in San Manuel in Highland, California. Rep your team, and we'll see you there this Monday.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny and Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny and Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littlensons.com. Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hammett, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
The Fat Greek in Yucaipa, where you can get authentic, delicious, true Greek food. Authentic gyros, Greek salads, pitas, falafel, hamburgers, burritos, and oh yes, baklava. The Fat Greek has a large selection of wines, ice-cold domestic, and imported Greek beers. Come on down to the Fat Greek located on Yucaipa Boulevard in the city of Yucaipa. Open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The Fat Greek has delivery, drive-through, sit-down, and a catering service. So bring in a family or give Nicholas and Christopher a call at 909-797-6018. Eat Greek, live long. Remember, if you want authentic Greek food, it's the Fat Greek in Yucaipa.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Jesse, I know there's a lot of things going on, and I'm looking at something. It's Ant-Man coming up kind of around the corner. Looking forward to it. Marvel Studios released their trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp called Quantumania, which I think is kind of a weird title, but they're going fun, you could tell. There's kind of an image of kind of fam, you know, with the daughter involved, which if you remember when they all came back, he kind of like, you know, came back because he was like super, what was he, Jess? It was like, remember after Thanos did his thing, he came back like in a way later, and then he kind of brought the team together to kind of figure out like how they can go back in time. Remember that?
Yes, I do. He was stuck in the quantum realm, and time flows a little bit differently there, and he wound up 5 years in the future. For him, it was only like 6 hours or 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. So there it is. That's the image there. You can see that. It looks like a fam film. You know what I mean? Which Paul is all about fam. I think, if anything, him playing like a father at that age works with a girl that old. And I think it's going to be like fun for him and his daughter. You know what I mean? I just hope they don't get rid of him. You know what I mean? Like, they always play that whenever they bring in a kid. You know what I mean? And then you're like, no! You know what I mean? And then the kid's kind of like, I don't know.
Oh, okay, so you don't want me to go with that rumor? What I heard? Okay.
Oh, don't tell me, man. What did you hear? Dang it.
No, I don't know, because if you watch the trailer, I think one of the other teaser trailers, Kang, the new big baddie in the Quantumania movie, he made the comment and was like, "Didn't I kill you before?" So.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know. A lot of people are assuming that he might pass away in this one. Who knows? I hope
Oh,
not.
I just said it because I was like, are you kidding? That's already the thing out there. You already know about this, Jazz? Come on. No, don't. You can't do that to Paul. You can't do that,
No.
Paul. Come
No, I don't
on.
want-
He found the love of his life. Look at that. The love of his
Right.
life. Again, to the right. You can see her. That's the Wasp. He's Ant-Man, obviously. Makes sense, right? And then the daughter. How cute is she? I'm not going to lie. I don't know how she all of a sudden came. I think I missed that part of the movie. I'm not going to lie. I was like, wait, he has a daughter? When did this happen? It was sad, though. Because, like...
You remember? No, he had a daughter in the first one. You don't remember? She was like...
Oh, that was a little girl!
Yes, time went by. Remember? She grew up.
From the other marriage.
Yes, from his first marriage.
Oh, that's the one. I thought he had it with the Wasp. Okay, I'm not gonna... That's where I got confused. I forgot about that, Jess. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, who's this girl who's old all of a sudden? I forgot that. Well, that's right, because he was the one who got out. And I think he got out, like, from prison or something for something, right? For hacking or something. What was it?
Yeah, I can't remember why he went to prison, but yeah, he went to prison. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he comes back. You see what I mean? They're selling that. They can't sell that. Come on, man. He did everything he could to be a father, right? And you know, he got in trouble. You know, gets called to a job, right? Oh, that's right, because he had to steal something for Michael Douglas, the character who went, yeah, that's right. And then he stumbled upon that. But he was trying to, like, that's right, get to see his daughter. But, yeah. You can't do that to Paul, man. You can't do that to Ant-Man. I disagree.
I'm just making worst case scenarios on the thing. I
No,
could say
that's a rumor. It's and I thought it.
I could say the Wasp passes away. I don't know.
Don't say that. You can't kill the lady, man. You can't kill the lady. No. Doesn't work. So she's stepmom, right?
I would believe so. I don't know. Yeah, I would guess so. But I'm excited for it because it looks like a great ride.
It does.
And very colorful. And you know what? I have no clue on where this is going to go.
Yeah, it sounds like you do have a clue. I don't like it, Josh. All right, so here's the deal. It's coming. Super excited by that. It's coming to theaters February 17, 2023. So something to look forward to. Something to look forward to. Oh, I'm not liking these screenshots, Jess. I'm not liking them. It's like the father that was but isn't anymore. You know what I mean?
It does. Like, I can make out a lot of assumptions on what this movie's going to be about and what's going to happen. But you know what? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Seeing a father like that, you know, and seeing her kind of become the thing that, like, I can see him going, oh, shoot. Like, I don't want her, you know what I mean? He's a concern, you know. Does he have kids, by the way? Is he? I don't know. It's like, you know, but he plays father really well.
Oh, you talk Paul Rudd in real life?
Yeah.
Oh, he has kids. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I can see him being fun father. You know what I mean? There's nothing, like, if you had a movie about him, it would be always fun with him. Does that make sense? Because he's just funny.
He is. I remember the first movie I remember watching with Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. It was with him and Reese Witherspoon before she became famous.
Okay, yeah, he's just that guy. So I'm a fan, not gonna lie, but I'm not happy with the way it's going. So there you go. Yeah, he was in Avengers Endgame. That's when he kind of came back full circle, and they're like, "What?" He's like, "Dude, where's everybody at?" Right? And he's like, "I'm alive," because he was kind of like chosen as the Fallen, like his name was on there, and then it was kind of cool because he came back, and then he went to the house, and it was like that. Yeah, Quantumania. Well, there you go. Evidently, it was shown at San Diego Comic-Con a few months ago, revealing that Cassie ends up in jail after getting into some kind of trouble. Oh, his daughter ends up in trouble. That makes sense. Let's get a movie for her daughter, right? Cassie. Let's see. According to this, Newton said that the movie picks up with Cassie all grown up. She's been without a dad because of the blip for 5 years. That was the Thanos guy, right? The snap of the finger. And she thinks she knows who she is. That's called teenage. She's got a lot of love in her heart. She's going after what she thinks is good. Yeah, not good. But she's making a lot of mistakes, as you do. But she's becoming who she is in this movie. Got it. Okay. Let's see. So, in essence, they're making him... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I like where this is going, Jess. I think I'm not going to watch it anymore. I don't want to see it go down that way. Yeah, King. Who is King, by the way?
You don't know who King is? King is a...
I don't, man. I'm sorry. I don't know the verse of comic all the time, man.
Yeah, he's someone from like 1,000 years or a few thousand years into the future. And he goes back in time and he messes up a bunch of stuff. Like, he ends up back in the time when Apocalypse was born back in ancient Egypt. He ends up becoming a superhero in one of his versions or variants.
Okay.
But yeah, so King is a villain, a hero, and so much more.
So that's him. He kind of looks kind of weak, if you ask me.
No, not even a little bit. Like, he is. That's why, like, if you remember in Loki, even He Who Remains was afraid of him.
Who's He Who
Himself.
Remains?
He Who Remains is the guy at the end of. Oh, you haven't seen it yet. Dang it.
I saw the first one.
Oh, you saw the full season? The guy at the end.
I didn't see the end.
Okay, never mind. Either way, it's going to be a wild ride. So
Okay.
I have no idea what's going to happen because you know what? They're always changing things.
Right.
So when you think you know, you don't know.
Right. All right. Well, comes on February 17th. I'm looking forward to it, man. Okay, Marvel, DC, DC, Marvel, right? That's kind of what's going on in the next few years. So, anyway, stay alive, be alive. We've got some news. It's not good. There's some respiratory things going on with people. And I'll talk about that next here on the morning show. Stay tuned.
KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Your pharmacy and mobility solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000 and stay warm today.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget, download our app. It is free. There's a lot of things going on, and we want you to be aware of it. So every hour on the hour, you'll hear the top of the line news, as well as news in the area of where you're at, especially here in LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, also Palm Springs. So we appreciate each and every one of you. Sometimes we get comments from you guys in person, and I know I don't always share what sometimes I hear, but that was at an event, and somebody goes, "Oh yeah, I listen to you guys." I was like, "You're kidding me." I know I had that little like look like what, and then I wanted to test him, and then he said something about something that we talked about. I'm like, "Oh, you do listen? That's awesome." So you never know, Jess. You never know.
I was like, what happened? You Irish up your coffee? No.
Like
I don't know.
some things we talk about, man. Some things, you know. So speaking of which, I've been wanting like Irish coffee. What is that? I think I saw the Instagram thing. Oh, we're on Instagram, by the way. Follow me, Aaron M. Sanchez. We stream that. I don't know how to tag you, Jess, but we stream it after the show. So we have it. But sometimes Instagram kind of goes, "Hey, is it you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, duh, streaming it." There's a way. It's very difficult. If you do it, use a app called Yellow Duck. Okay, you got to have a streaming thing like OBS or something else, and then you get the key, and then it is a code that you put in, and then you just stream it to your Instagram. The only problem is it doesn't save it like a story. And IGTV, I don't know if you know, but IGTV is gone, right? It's been gone for a while, so that doesn't exist. So when it pops up, watch it, and then you can comment, but honestly, it goes away. So I'm like, is it you know? But people watch. We see they're watching, so we're happy about that. So follow me on social media. Follow Jesse. Where do we follow you, Jess?
I am Jesse Sanchez on either Twitter, which I still need to find my password because when I lost my phone, oh my god, everything got reset.
Oh, I hate that. I didn't know you lost your phone. Sorry.
Well, I didn't lose my phone. It more like the battery overheated and it just critical failure, so I had to get a new one. And
Ooh.
I'm lazy with updating things.
Got that. Okay. Yeah, get it back because I've been seeing some people like get off, and I'm like, dude, I can't reach out to you. Your phone changed, right? I have a friend. I'm checking, and I haven't got a call back. I'm like, hello. So anyway, let people know you're there, and at least leave it on so you can go back to it. Don't delete everything. I see some people delete everything and go, "What's wrong?" You know, and then like they have a breakup or they want to be on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's somebody they don't want to see who. You know what I mean? Or they're hiding. I've seen that where they're like somebody comments, they're like, "Oh, hide it." I've had that actually where somebody comments, you're like, "Ugh." Right. All right, because you don't know if it's like the real thing, and then they're like, "I want your baby," and you're like, "Dude, like we went on one date." You know what I mean? Like,
I have no comment.
There are stalkers out there, man. Just be careful. That's all I say.
I believe it.
I've had it, man. And like, I think no, it's not gonna happen. We're such a small show, and we're so small. But anyway, it happens. All right. Children's hospitals in parts of the U.S. are seeing a surge in a common respiratory illness that can cause severe breathing problems for babies. All right, this is something you guys need to know. They're kind of like calling it something, but it's basically something that isn't good for your kid. Okay, it's very difficult to remember. That's number one. But they got more information on this, and they've been kind of going, what is this? We've talked about a little, not a lot. And they're saying there's an increase. They're saying there's no treatment for it. And they're saying they recommend basically go to the hospital. They say do not hesitate to go to an emergency department or 911 by calling 911. I said Dr. Russell Megita of Seattle Children's Hospital, where RSV is on the rise. That's what they're terming it. For less severe problems, they're saying call your regular health care provider for advice, use telehealth, or go to urgent care. In Chicago on Saturday, Dr. Juanita Morrow saw a family of 5 kids, all with this condition. Okay, and they're calling it RSV, but some are saying it's something else. They're terming it this, but some are saying is it a version of COVID. This was ranging from a 3-year-old to a teenager, all having respiratory problems in their lungs. Okay, and it can start as little as like a little baby. All right, so that's a problem, because if they have that, have you ever heard of like crib disease, or you ever hear of that?
No. Is this a thing?
Yeah,
I'm
it
afraid
is.
to. No, I don't want to Google it. I don't want to. I'm just gonna assume you're correct. So
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's a thing where that's why sometimes, like, if you're responsible or you're someone who knows what to do, like with the crib, it's not the crib that kills. It's the baby's position, because they have a hard time breathing. So you got to be careful with that, right? So sometimes they say, like, put them, in a way like an incline position. They say put them on their back, not on their front, because they may have a problem. And then, that's the worst thing. Ma comes in, sees her baby, gone, right? Had a hard time breathing. So that's why they're kind of saying, hello? So we need to kind of advise, especially like the young ones and young, mas and young fathers. This is a thing again. They're saying, get the flu shot and, COVID, and don't give it to your kid. Okay, your kid can get it. So that's kind of the thing that they're saying in essence. It's a long article. But they're saying if your little one is having a breathing problem, and I've heard it at a store a couple times, not gonna lie, I had a face mask on, and I heard the little baby, and if you get a little like, right, like that, get it checked out. Okay, especially if you're a young one. Don't and I know some of these young ones are born to people that like are barely making ends meet. In one situation, you could tell they were like, they're buying beer and stuff, So I was like, okay, how do they take care of the kid, But you don't want to be that person. You're like, hey, take care of your kid. You know what I mean? I don't know how to be like, can you just like, I don't know. But it's called RSV. It stands for respiratory syncytial virus. They're calling it a common cause of mild cold-like symptoms such as runny nose, cough, and fever. Nearly all U.S. children normally catch RSV infection by age 2. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, it's becoming fatal, so that's something that you got to be careful of. They're saying among U.S. kids under age 5, it leads to 58,000 hospitalizations and up to 500 deaths in a year. For adults 65 and older, adults can get it. RSV causes 177,000 hospitalizations and 14,000 deaths yearly. For babies, the struggle to breathe can interfere with eating, and that's really when we start to worry. I would say if they just have problems like that, take them to the hospital. Because if you put them down to lie down, if they have a hard time breathing, like let's say you have a little one, right? Maybe less than 1, maybe months old or 2. This is why some people don't go out when they have a kid. They're like, I'm not letting you get my kid sick, right? Because, they haven't built up immunity, right? You don't want that. So, but if you have a child with a breathing thing, then you really don't want them like compressing their lungs. Does that make sense? Which is why crib deaths actually occur. Because usually they're face down, right? It's a comfortable position, right? I don't know about you. I sleep face down all the time. But when you have a little one who doesn't know how the body works, and they have little lungs and little nose and little nostrils and little everything, right? And then you have a blanket next to that little kid. Now you're kind of, in a way, suffocating that little kid. So a lot of mothers usually blame themselves for this So you really, 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 really got to be careful with this. They're saying if they're breathing fast and breathing deep, you got to take them to the hospital. All right, just do it. Okay, even if you don't have insurance, they'll take care of the situation because they want the little one alive. And trust me, you want the little one alive. There is nothing good that comes with a death in the crib. Okay, crib deaths are a horrible thing to wake up to and be like, you thought your kid was all right. That's why baby monitors are a thing, by the way. People sometimes don't realize, the things that go on. And I've seen some, less responsible parents out there. I don't know how to bring it to, like, their attention other than to say, hey, by the way, did you know? So maybe I'll say we talked about it on the show and then send them, hey, by the way. But yeah, they're saying these kids are having difficulty taking a bottle because their breathing is being impacted and they can't coordinate both at once. Now, some of these kids, like the one that I saw, you can tell doesn't take a bottle. Probably like 1.5, right? So, yeah. So it's very important. So be very mindful of this and be aware it's a thing. They're saying South Carolina is drowning in this, by the way, with a huge surge. And they're saying it's ahead of, the winter. So, if you have a young one, and they're having problems breathing, make sure to take care of it. Okay, take them to the hospital. They have little things that you can, I don't know if they have for the little one, but you could check the oxygen meter on someone. And it's cheap. It's like less than maybe 20 or 30 bucks. Maybe even 40 bucks. But it's worth it when you have a little one that you want to, have always, right? So take care of that. And, they're saying that they've seen a rise this month in reports of this illness, which they say is basically due to, well, a lot of things are kind of tested for it. So it's kind of a general thing. So that's why some are saying, we think it's coronavirus enabled or coronavirus kind of like, a thing, which happens to attack the lungs. So, but it's worse than others. Because I saw another article which said, be careful because these, even though you're getting like, a shot, doesn't mean you're not going to be ahead. I'll give you this example. Here's one, and this is interesting. So, some biologists and some chemists are saying, we're not happy about this. Fungal infection list launched by the World Health Organization flags global health threat. Yeah, why do you have that face, Jess?
I don't know, kids. I keep thinking something bad. So keep going.
You're like, please no. Well, maybe I shouldn't. But here it is. The World Health Organization has drawn up the first ever list of fungal pathogens posing the threat, they say greatest threat, to human health, warning that some strains are increasingly drug resistant and becoming more widespread. What? No, that can't be. Fungal infections, Jess. Do you know what fungal infection is, Jess?
No. I just know it's not good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I saw a report, and they said on this woman, she's an old lady, right? And I guess the kids are kind of taking care of her, but not. And they came in, took care of her, and they saw fungus, like little mushrooms, growing on her skin. Jess?
You're lying. No,
I will. It's a thing. It's the weirdest thing. They're like, how does that grow on the skin? So this is kind of an answer on that. They're saying, in essence, it's a thing. It says it strikes. Do you see what I'm saying, Jess? Did you get it yet? It's a grandma.
Why do you terrorize me with these things?
It's a real thing, man. I'm not making it up. Imagine laying there, and your lady's taking care of you, or not. She's in and out, in and out, in and out. And on your, you're growing mold on your body. Did you see it? It's weird, Jess. It's the weirdest thing.
Yes, I did see it. It is really weird. Oh, it is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. You'd think you would see so many things and something new would not take your breath away, but no, it does. I've never seen anything like that before.
I didn't believe it at first. I'm not going to lie. But this makes sense. It says fungal infections strike people who are severely ill, like cancer or tuberculosis patients, and it's jumped since COVID. Oh, that makes sense. COVID. One of those little things you go, no, no, no. 4 types of treatments exist, thank God, with very few options in the development pipeline. Oh, meaning it's resistant against all those treatments. Oh, no. Climate change means that the incidence and geographic range of the pathogens is expanding. Resistance is in part being driven by the overuse of antifungals in agriculture. The list divides the pathogens in 3 categories based on their impact and data. Critical, high, and medium priority. The critical group includes something I can't say, which is highly drug resistant. It has caused a number of outbreaks in hospitals worldwide. Oh, it's already a thing. Yikes. The high group includes a number of other fungi from the Candida family as well as others. A group containing the fungi that causes something. Oh, it's called black fungus. Oh, that's not good. An infection which rose rapidly and seriously. Jess, I've been saying it. I talked about it. I'm going to say it right here, right now. The plague is coming, Jess. Can't believe I just said is coming. The plague is here, Jess. Do you know what the plague of middle? You know what I mean? Like the Black Plague. Look it up. Black Plague. What did they used to do to the homes if you were known as a Black Plague victim?
I have no idea. But there have been several cases throughout the years of the bubonic plague. So as long as it doesn't spread, it should be easily notified, right?
The World Health Organization is saying it's a global crisis and that they cannot stop it, Jess. All right? This is the answer that so many have wondered about in school. You remember, and they talked about the plague was basically the Dark Ages. I have a story about it, actually. I'm not going to lie. It's about Prince Charlie. Or Prince Charles. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to do. Charles sounds kind of like, kind of like the prince of now. So I think I'm going to Prince Charlie. He's a little kid, and, it's in the time of... I mean, there's a dragon involved, but it's kind of talking about this very thing. And Jess, I'm not going to lie. This is a thing that we're going to see in the next coming... Oh, my God. I said this probably about a month ago. I said, Ma, it's coming, and it may be coming in February or around that time here. Now the World Health Organization is saying it's a thing. Now, they're not calling it the bubonic plague, Jess, just so you know. But it can lead to that, okay? When you think of the homes in... And I know a lot... I don't know how many kids learn this in history. But, like, everybody loves swords and knights and, kings and queens and dragon, right? Game of Thrones. But the plague, do you know what you do to a home that has black on the surface of the wall or the ceiling? Do you know what that is, Jess?
No. What?
You burn it down.
Oh, yeah, that's never a good thing.
Now we get how it started. We get the Black Plague. It was a fungus thing. It was mold. That's what it is, Jess. That killed so many people. If you look up the news on that, of estimates, and some of the stuff got because there was war in the middle. The bubonic plague. Hold on, let me bring this up. We're here, Jess. We got so many. This is one of those. I'm telling you, we're living in a movie, Jess. We're living in a movie. Yep, here it is. Plague. The plague is considered the likely cause of the Black Death that swept through Asia, Europe, but we only know about Europe, really, Africa in the 14th century and killed, that's what my little stories is, an estimated 50 million people, Jess. 50 million! You know how many that is in a time of they didn't have transportation like we do now, right? It says it's 1 to 7 days after exposure, flu-like symptoms develop. They include fever, headaches, and vomiting. What does that sound like? As well as swollen and painful lymph nodes occurring in the area closest to where the bacteria enter the skin. Ecral necrosis, the dark discoloration of skin, is another symptom. So if you see discoloration of skin, yikes! Swollen lymph nodes, known as buboes, may break open. Oh, yuck. Disgusting. That's where pus comes out. 3 types of plague are the result of the root of infection. Bubonic plague. Oh, there's several plagues. Oh, that makes sense. Septicemic plague and pneumonic plague. Bubonic plague is spread by infected... I want to get rid of that. That's what they think. I think we're seeing the beginning of the plague, Jess. Which actually the Bible actually talks about death being the following of all this. Yes.
It could be. You know what? History does tend to repeat itself over and over again, especially if we tend to forget. Am I right?
It says, yeah, 1 to 7 days after exposure. Jess! That's why I hate that word, gangrene.
I refuse to Google. I know what that word is. I refuse to Google it, and I do not wish to look at any of those
Look up
pictures.
gangrene.
It is too early for that.
Look up gangrene. Meningitis. And they're saying it's a world thing. It's a top headline, Jess. It's a top headline. But they haven't said plague yet. But one leads to the other. Does that make sense? So they got to stamp out the mold. That's number one. And they're saying it's resistant. And if people are growing mold on their body, Jess, that's the plague, Jess. Do you want mold on your body? Have you ever had like something like food and you're like, oh, it's expired because you see the mold growing on it? It's like a furry, fuzzy substance. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I know what you're talking about. Yes. No, I don't eat that. That's gross.
You don't want to grow it on your body, Jess. Some people say it grows in the body too, underneath the skin, because of COVID. Just so you know.
Yeah, we look at very different news. I was looking at something completely different.
You're welcome. I'm telling you, somebody's going to say, when did they say it was a thing? Right here on the show. Mark it. October 25th, 2022, we said it. I've been saying it behind the scenes because I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for more information. It's this. This creates the plague. And if 50 million estimated, 50 million, just in your head, how many have died of COVID right now? Jess? About 6 million?
Has it been 6 million? I thought it was around 3.
Around the world?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, it's about 1 point something million here in the U.S. But
okay.
around the world, we'll make up like a sixth of what it is around the world, right? The plague, without transportation, killed approximately 50 million people in Asia, right? Same places. Europe, right? Same place. Oh, that's right. They didn't count the U.S. Oh, that's where they were like immune from because they're like, we don't know you, right? Is that what Columbus brought to is that why everybody hates it right now? I get that. Okay, so the question is, Jess, because a lot of people died on those ships. The question is, I think they had fever too, actually. Yeah, they brought fever. Yeah, they totally brought that. The question is, will we survive the bubonic plague or any plague, therefore, of it? And this is why you need to pay attention to this. Man, they play it down, man. The World Health Organization, those guys, the ones that warned us about COVID, are flagging the global health threat of infection of fungus. It starts as fungus. That's why they burned down the homes, Jess. Jess, imagine your home that has fungus that cannot be. This is how zombies occur, Jess. All right, we're out of time. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well as long as you have. Don't get the plague, Jess. All right, for those of you tuning in, we appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, it's been a thing. I've been talking to some very smart people, and they said, there is a possibility of this happening again. And so I have to say this right here, right now. This, which I'm just saying now, is something that they've been working on behind the scenes, saying, we don't know where to go with this. So this information is something that will lead to information around, okay? And I know people are like, what? No. Okay. The plague, okay, did happen in 2020-ish. I would say maybe, yeah, up here in Big Bear. I remember an article and I saw it and I said, is this a thing? And somebody said, no, we have treatment for it, so don't worry about it. I said, okay, good enough, right? It made a headline, right? In I want to say January or February of 2020, okay? It was around the same time that COVID was coming out and stuff, and I was like, because I had never seen that bubonic plague. Like, I'm like, that's not old disease, right? It's like leprosy and like diseases you don't even hear of anymore, right? So I was like, oh, I feel good about that. I'm glad there's a treatment for it. Well, now they're saying, yeah, there's no treatment for this. Black fungus is what they're calling it. An infection which grows rapidly in ill people. Oh, it's already here. Especially in India. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, there it is. Okay, so if you see black fungus growing in your house, you gotta let someone know. That's number one. Number two, you gotta wear something and don't touch that stuff. Okay. Number three, I actually used to talk about this stuff when I actually used to do kitchen and bathroom like stuff, because there's certain mold that grows in your home that's either really dark and you're like, okay, that's normal, or really red. The redder it is, the more harmful it is eventually if you breathe it in. It can kill you slowly, just so you know. And then I've had friends, especially like in the beach areas, where they have mold in the home and they die eventually. But it's not the plague, okay? But it's a thing that causes respiratory disease eventually. That's why they say in some areas that have like, oh my God, oh, it's going to get worse. I just thought about it. All those areas like Florida and the ones that got the hurricane and all that, that's where mold grows. That's why they have remediation companies that remediate areas, and they dry the heck out of that so mold doesn't grow. And if mold does grow, they get rid of it right away. You do not want to be in a home that has mold. If you feel and or know there's mold around you and you smell that, get rid of it. Especially now, because this type of mold is worse. Okay? Not gonna lie, when I saw that particular story about a woman who's a grandma who had fungus or mold type growing on her skin, not because she's old, because she was exposed to it. And those kids let it happen, is what they say. But I think they were unaware that it was happening. They're like, what's that fuzzy stuff on you, right? Nothing good with mold. Nothing good with fungus. There is that thing about fungus that you want of this, okay? So, I've been saying it. I've been saying my worst case scenario. We got to stay alive through 2023, 2024, and 2025, 2026, 2027. Because if it is anything like the plague of some call it the Dark Ages, others call it like Middle Ages, others call it just the worst time ever, which they always say, oh no, rats brought it. Or oh no, mosquito brought it. Or oh no, animal brought it. No. Mold is on surfaces of everything eventually, and it spreads. Think of like a bowl of fruit, okay? You have one moldy item in there. Will the rest get moldy? Yes. That's how it grows. But this particular strain is worse, and COVID is infecting it. Oh, God. So, people. Wow. I can't believe I'm saying this. Okay. If somewhere in the future you see this particular story, just remember, this is how it started. If you go, what happened? How come so many people died? It's this. All right? It's this article. All right? And it's this particular, I know people are like, you're over-exaggerating. No. Do research on the plague. Bubonic or, oh my God, flesh-eating disease. It's already there. Okay, I'll tell you this. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, then you'll understand. I talked to somebody, very smart, and he said this. He said, look, you don't understand, man. There are things that people are going to be like, not a thing, because people are very, they don't care. They're like, big deal, big deal, big deal, right? They bury people, but they just don't care. And I said, yeah, I get that. He goes, but what you really need to know is it gets worse because this particular strain of virus just does things to other viruses. Now, I have a couple other, episodes you probably should watch. It kind of makes sense about this guy. He's very smart. And he said this. He said, look, there are viruses that are out there that when they meet other viruses, they make like a little, hey, we love you. And they kind of grow to be not friends eventually. They find each other eventually, but along the way, they hurt each other, and then they hurt anyone who's around them. That's COVID. I said, okay. He said, no, you don't understand. People understand that there are things that you kind of want to understand, but you don't want to understand. And then there are people that just go, no, it's not a thing. He goes, those are the dumbest people ever. He goes, they propagate that, oh, it's not a thing, so they spread it. So yeah, they might get well a little, but if they get it again, they think, oh, immunity. No, not immunity, because it gets worse every single time. He goes, look, COVID, we really got to get ahead of, because in essence, animals get it, people get it, and, well, it goes back and forth. But there's something that we're seeing, and we're really wondering what it is, but it's called fungus. I said, what? It's called fungus. I go, well, fungus is just a thing. Big deal. No. You don't get it. Fungus like this is not the type of fungus you want. Fungus, yeah, you think fungi. Ha, 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 ha. Mushroom, ha, 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 ha. We eat mushroom all day. Yay. He goes, they make even drug about it, right? I go, yeah. He goes, that's the problem. I said, huh? He goes, that's the problem. If they make a drug with fungus, oh, God, that's already a thing. He goes, what if people breathe in the wrong type of fungus? Huh? He goes, that's the, oh. Then he had it. The moment. And he said this, I have a theory. I said, uh-huh. And then he said this. It was very interesting. He said, I know. Oh, my God. And then he had it. He said, in essence, the plague is coming. It was a long, drawn-out story. But in essence, he said, oh, my God. Ah! When he does that, you pay attention. He said, in essence, I know it's going to be bad. And then he told me, make sure your ma stays alive through. And then he said, now what he said, I'm not going to say. Because you would be like, dude, you're just over-exaggerating, man. Dude, don't get any black thing. If it grows anywhere near you, on the wall, on the surface, anywhere around you, and you smell like especially, oh God, with the dampness, that makes sense what he was saying. Okay. He said this, it was very quick and very fast. He said, in certain states, we're going to see a rise. He goes, I don't know why, but it's going to be a rise. I said, all right. He says, so what you need to know is just move away. I said, move away. He goes, move away, man. In areas where it's a thing, people will spread it from one to the other. He said, okay, let me give you an example. You know the, middle, whatever you call it? I said, yes. He goes, well, in those times, they really don't have the science that they do now. I said, okay. He said, you know that story you write? I said, yes. Yeah, you should write it. I said, okay. He said, okay. People need to know the plague of the, And then I said, what does that mean? He goes, oh my God. He stammers all the time. He said, in the plague of time, that's what he called it, there were people, oh my God. And I said, what does that mean? He goes, well, there were people that, I said, what does that mean? He goes, well, So he's putting it all together. Sometimes it takes forever to hear this guy, but he's always on it in a weird way. You almost wish he wasn't. But he said, and it was very simple and very fast, he said, look, I know there are things that people do, but there are people that just, I said, what? He goes, you don't want to know anyone. Why? He says, when there's people that like, okay, you know how there are people that just kind of are lackadaisical? I said, yeah. He goes, you know how there are people that just like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Yeah. He goes, those are people that give you the bubonic plague. They'll give it to you. I said, how would they give it to you? He goes, you don't get it. That. Okay? The estimate that he gave me, now I looked it up. It's Wikipedia. It says here 50 million. I quoted it really right away because I forgot actually what he said. He said it was an estimate 80 to 120 million people. That's a lot of people. Okay? I know you think we got billions of people on this earth. It's true. But with certain estimates that I talked to another scientist, right? And that one, I'm not going to say who he is because he's always like, don't say anything until we're saying something. They're the people that are behind these announcements. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. He said, in essence, that makes sense, actually. That's why, in essence, when I say these things, they have a way of coming only because I have very interesting conversations with people that are very smart. So, if you have a home that has been underwater, that makes sense. I got what he gets. Okay, let's just put it this way. In the coming days and coming months and coming years, if you see anything blackish grow anywhere around you or on the surface of something, get out from that house, okay? I don't know if remediation specialists will be able to take care of it, especially if it's in the wall, okay? And that is anything flooded or anything with water damage. It can sometimes happen in the ceiling, just so you know. Okay, I did work with certain companies like HVAC and other air conditioning companies with heating and or cooling that used to test for mold, okay? And I always recommend, get one of those things that actually the air goes through and it's UV light. and it cleans or scrubs the air. That's what hospitals have, all right, so that mold doesn't spread. Because sometimes mold does get in like the ceiling, and sometimes that gets ventilated into the house. If you have certain like breathing problems, it may be due to mold. You can actually test for that. There are tests for that, and just call an HVAC person. They'll tell you. And if you get a system, then you just get it kind of included. So that's number one. But if you move into a home, or you want to buy a home, you usually get an inspection list, right, or an inspector to check it out, right? That person will tell you if there's mold in the house. And you think mold is such a like 4-letter word. It's not a big thing. It is a big thing, because homes that have that type of smell are very hard to get rid of. Now, that type of mold will, like, over time, create problems with your lungs eventually, right? That's kind that like I'll give you an example. If you ever like travel or you stay in other countries and you smell like it's hard to explain. Just people know when it's mold. It's like a dampness in there, right? That means there's mold in the walls. Okay, that's number one. And that usually creates a problem with infection of the lungs eventually. But it's a slow roll, okay? Now, this, when I think, I get what he was saying. Okay, that makes sense. This, in essence, is a thing that we're going to see, but people aren't going to believe it, because when they say the plague, they're going to say, aren't we done with that? Right? Because we're so, again, some would say 13th century, 14th century, okay? 1400s or 1300s, way back when, killed a lot of people all at once, and they never got ahead of it. There are some theories that they eventually got ahead of it because they figured out like certain things that would help people, but they weren't the way they are now with chemistry, right? And with like, infection and stuff. But it spread so bad, it killed a lot of people, right? So it's in the books. They used to burn houses down. The moment you saw it, they knew it was that bad. All right. There's a lot of movies about the subject. But I think, if anything, what you really need to know is if you see any type of black anything on the wall and it grows and it's just get away from it, okay? And then get yourself tested for something, and just don't get infected, because if you get infected, you may give it to others. That's the problem with this particular mold, okay? This is a different type of mold. This isn't water damage mold. This is other type of mold. So I get what he's saying now. I get that. Oh, he said if there's a particular strain of coronavirus, it will hurt people eventually if, I forgot how he put it, but it's very important. He said if it gets out and about and then it mixes with mold, is what he meant. But he said fungus, and I'm like, I don't know the difference. That, okay? So fungus is mold. Just keep it simple. There's different like people go, oh, fungus is mushroom, right? Or fungus is, little things that you make, like you call it magic mushroom, right? There's all kinds of things that they make into things that you can eventually, either smoke and or inhale or eat that kind of give you hallucinogens, right? Or hallucinations, right? They're hallucinogens for a reason, right? But there's some that are actually deadly. So you got to be careful what type of mushroom you have, right? So I don't like mushroom. But anyway, long story short, this is a thing. The announcement is as of, today. So the World Health Organization has been ahead every single time. So they're saying we need to, I get it. The science is there. All right, well, there's going to be more stuff coming up in the next couple of months. You're going to need to pay attention. Just make sure you know, and then be ahead of it, all right? If you see anything black growing on the surface of a wall and or ceiling and or anything, like a lot of black. And some restrooms get that because the moisture, you don't let ventilate, and you want to clean that pretty regularly, but this is a whole different strain. And back to what he said, that makes sense, okay. He said, there are strains out there that are so resistant, we don't have a fix. He goes, and people are acting like there's a fix. So that makes sense. He goes, there are so many people that think it's gone. It's never gone. He goes, it is still there. So we're going to have to get along with it until we have, in essence, a cure. But, he goes, you know how people say COVID-19 and think it happened in 2019? I said, yes. He goes, no, this is the 19th version of a coronavirus situation, which is honestly SARS related. And if they said SARS, then people would take it serious. Because for some reason, that word really has people pay attention. He goes, you remember how you had that on your show one time? I said, yes. He goes, you should say that more. It's SARS related, okay? That whole COVID, he goes, it doesn't work anymore. And that whole Corona thing, people take the beer. He goes, no, you need to make sure people understand that this is a thing long term because it is going to get ahead of us and we are not going to want it. He goes, man, I am going to move. I said, all right. Anyway, long story short, that was the conversation I had. That's what you need to know. So be careful out there. Remember, life is worth living. Just be aware of it, okay? If it comes up in your area, report it immediately, all right? And don't give it to anyone if you have it, all right? And get tested. There are ways to test for that. All right, people, make it a great day. Whatever you do, remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.